everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Unraveling the Veil with your host, Katie from the yararose.com website. That is YARAROSE.com. You can also follow me on @YaraRoseHealing on both YouTube and Instagram to keep up with what's going on with me. Now let's get to today's episode. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my podcast. I'm so excited to have you join me again today. Today, we are going to be talking about transitions. And I just felt like this was so important to share with you because, as you know, a lot of my podcast episodes are about my journey and where I am and the messages that Spirit is giving me and how I feel that those could also be applicable to you. So, the message that I was receiving a lot the last couple of weeks from Spirit was about transitions. And I don't think that's very surprising when you're going from one year to another. So let's talk about it. Let's dive in. I want to start with this because I don't know about you, but at the end of the year, I really do a strong reflection. I get in this mode where I want to see what I accomplished in the year, what I had thought I was going to accomplish versus what I actually did, and how I feel about that, and just kind of do a summary and how I want to proceed for goal setting in the next year. I was thinking about this one day, and as I was thinking about it, I happened to scroll across this post on Facebook from this group called Love and Relationships Thoughts. I don't subscribe to them. I don't know anything about them. I just happened to see this post and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I took a screenshot. So I'm going to share it with you because I think it's the best place to start. And it says, 2025, the year of the snake taught us how to shed what no longer fits. It was a season of quiet clarity, one that asked us to slow down, listen honestly, and recognize where we were living out of habit instead of truth. The lesson wasn't about rushing change, but about understanding why it was necessary. The snake reminded us that growth often happens invisibly, and that letting go is not an ending, but a preparation for what comes next. 2026, the year of the horse. The year of the horse brings movement, courage, and forward momentum. Where the snake revealed the truth, the horse asked us to act on it, to trust our instincts, choose freedom over familiarity, and move boldly towards what feels aligned. This is a year of embodiment and expansion, where clarity turns into action and confidence grows through passion. The shedding is done, now we run. And I wanted to start there because I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm still in transition from one to the other. I feel like there are still a couple things that I have been faced with where it is asking me, are you truly ready to let this go? And are you ready to take action? Because it's one thing to talk about, yeah, I'm ready to be done with that, to ask Spirit to help you let it go and then act. The action is required for the whole process to be completed. Similarly to when you feel an emotion and it's very uncomfortable, so you push it down and you don't want to face it, so you leave it pushed down in there, some little closet inside your body that you think you'll never have to face it again. And then it will come up at the most inopportune time again because it's not meant to stay down there. It was meant to be felt and it was meant to be released, and the process needs to be completed, and it's going to keep coming up until you're ready to complete that. So much like that, if we're not willing to take the actions, we're going to see similar experiences in our external environment that are going to challenge us the same ways. But what they're really doing is bringing fresh opportunities for you to say, yes, I truly am ready to heal whatever this habit is, whatever this limiting belief or thought form that's attracting this energy, that is attracting this specific type of scenario. I am ready to do the work. I am ready to let it go. And I am ready to move on with my best life. And another message that Spirit has been giving me personally is that as I'm in this transition from finding my clarity, releasing that which no longer serves me, and embracing the new opportunities, it's going to challenge me to be willing to leave my comfort zone. It's going to be challenging me to grow. And that's obviously unfamiliar, and that's usually uncomfortable. And that's something that affects my nervous system. It may scare my ego, which will start a whole slew of reasons why we shouldn't right now, why it doesn't work, all the stories. And as we're going through these shifts, and I don't care if it's a year to a year or different stages in your life, jobs, marriage. I don't care what kind of transition you're going through. These lessons or these little nuggets that Spirit is giving you, they're still applicable. I'm just using the new year because that's where I am in my life. But I don't want you to think that it's only applicable to that because it's applicable to any sort of life change. And that is this: it's not going to be easy because growth requires courage and the willingness to step outside of your comfort zone and face a possible unknown, which is scary to your ego. So please, as you are transitioning from whatever stage in your life you are transitioning from, extend yourself grace, extend yourself extra love. Don't push yourself too hard, too fast. Slow and steady, they always say, wins the race. Slow and steady. You don't want to overtax your system, whether it be in a strenuous exercise program that your system wasn't ready for, or completely going from an isolated area to a bustling city. It's going to take time for you to adjust. And Spirit wants to remind you that extending yourself love and grace and forgiveness when you have a bad day is going to help you achieve whatever it is you're attempting to achieve next in a much faster, easier way. And also, if you are berating yourself for not changing fast enough, not growing enough, not saying yes to that opportunity, that's going to cause resistance in your energy field. And then the next opportunity that was coming on might not be able to reach you because you're too busy berating yourself for not saying yes or not saying no, whichever is applicable to your situation. So that again is why it's faster. Maybe you didn't, maybe you weren't ready, maybe you didn't catch that freeway lane to wherever you wanted to go, but there'll be another one. There are always going to be more opportunities. And when you are ready, you will have one that will be the perfect opportunity for where you are at that point in time. You are not on a wrong path. You didn't take a wrong turn. Every decision you have made has brought you to where you are right now, and you have learned valuable lessons along the way. You will always have opportunities that will help you from where you are. Spirit does not criticize you for being where you are. They do not judge you. They do not hold you in shame or any of those types of emotions because you are where you are. We are the ones that do that to ourselves. And the more that we do that to ourselves, the more that we keep ourselves there because we're judging, we're criticizing, we're harming ourselves with our thought and our feelings that are directed at us. And that's keeping us from seeing the new opportunities that are trying to come in. That's preventing us from feeling the love of our non-physical friends who are trying to help us continue on to live our best lives. So please, y'all, extend yourself some love and grace. That has been a repeating message for me is self-love, more acceptance, more rest. If you are feeling like you need to take a break, you have been running yourself ragged and you're just exhausted, then give yourself an evening of indulgence. Do you know what it is that helps you feel loved? And I know that sounds silly to ask, but we in society get so caught up with what we have to do each and every single day. We have to do this and we have to do that and we have to do this and we have to show up here and we have to show up there. That very rarely does self-care factor into our everyday experience. So everyone right here and right now, can you tell me a list of things that you can do? Just 5 things that you can do throughout the week that show yourself that you love yourself, that you care about yourself, and that you are willing to take time out of your schedules to show yourself that love, to show yourself that you care, and be indulgent in what makes you feel good. I want to share this experience, and this is really funny because I wasn't planning on sharing it, but it just popped into my head, so I know that's a message from Spirit. I had gotten really busy with work and, my kids and family, and then the holiday season came around, and I had actually went 2 months without a massage, and that's like unheard of around here because I need regular massages just so I can continue moving and being physical because I sit at my desk for a long period of time. Beside the point. A long time ago, like at the beginning of my podcast, I told you how important massages were and how they taught me that caring for your physical body, the physical body that allows us to feel through the five senses that allows us to experience this third world dimension is super important because this is the body. This is the only body you guys are going to have right here and right now. This is the body that you are going to have for the rest of this physical life. So you want to take care of it. You want to feel the breeze on your skin. You want to be able to smell your favorite foods. You want to be able to taste your favorite foods. You want to be able to hug each other. You want to be able to walk out in the sun. You want to be able to go skydiving. I don't know what you want to do, but you want to take care of that body. So what can you do that makes you feel indulgent, that takes care of your body? And for me, one of those things is massage. And I had went, like I said, 2 months without having one. And all of a sudden, I was just like, you know what? I have not been doing my self-care, and this is super important for me. So I made an appointment, and instead of engaging in conversation, which is typically how I just talked to my massage therapist. I love her. She's amazing. She's great. But this time I was like, this is going to be for me. And I just laid there and I asked Spirit to help me feel the love. And also, this was in December. So I also was like thinking about let's let go of all of the things that we no longer serve me. So Spirit, help me let go of all those things that no longer serve me. Guide the masseuse's hands as she massages me. Let my body release the toxins, the stories, everything that no longer serves me. It was truly an amazing experience. But you know, the one thing that felt so amazing on that table was I finally felt like I was loving myself because I gave myself that time to just be, to just exist. And I gave my body that gift of allowing it to release and allowing the muscles to finally go from being tense to relaxed and supple. It was just a beautiful experience. And it reminded me how important doing those little things throughout the week are for you and how that affects your energy so much. And by sharing that with you, I'm hoping that that will inspire you to be like, okay, what can I do every single week for my physical care? What can I do for my mental care? Like, do I like learning? Is there a certain subject that's really interesting to me right now? So like every day I'm going to do just a little video. You know, it could be different things. It could be a little online class. It could be going to a community education class. It could be whatever really lights you up. How can we do that for your mental, spiritual, and physical self? How can we integrate all of this and continue as we're going through and navigating this transition in life? How are we going to show up for ourselves? How are we going to show ourselves that we love ourselves and that no matter what changes are going on around us, we are still a priority? Because when you make yourself a priority, you show up better for everybody else. And you also show everyone else that they too can make their lives blossom by caring for themselves first. You can be the example, and you don't have to be a leader by making these intentional decisions to be the best leader ever. You can lead by your example of how you live your life, and it's going to be seen by others, and it's going to be felt by others. And they're going to ask you, what are you doing? You're glowing. I don't know what you're doing, but you just look great. I want to know what you're doing differently and how can I incorporate that in my life? And I just feel like highlighting the importance of self-care while you're going through a transition is so important because it's hard enough for us sometimes to have self-care when things are just even keel, same old, same old. But when we're going through a transition, it's even more challenging because you're already being challenged to change, to grow, to evolve, to let go. And then on top of that, you're doing your daily tasks, your daily activities, your lists, your social functions, da, 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 da. And now you're telling me, Katie, that I have to also do these things? Please? I'm asking you to, but I'm asking you to do it for you, not for me. I want you guys to live the best life. So what can you do for yourselves to help you realize that you deserve to be cared for? You deserve to be indulged. You deserve to be pampered in whatever way makes you feel wonderful and spectacular, whatever way fills up your cup. I had briefly signed up for a free webinar from, I think it was like Mind Heart Institute or something like that. I don't remember which one it was, but I was listening to a couple people talk about the vagus nerve, and gosh, I feel silly even bringing it up because I don't have all the facts. But since it popped up into my head, I am going to tell you the part that I do remember because I feel like that's what Spirit wants me to tell you right now. So, the two different speakers at this event. It was a free event, but it happened over Christmas, so I didn't really have a lot of time to listen to all of them. So I saw it twice and I was like, okay, Spirit, I got it. I'll take it. And then I watched the two that I felt drawn to. And what was really interesting was these two different speakers said the same thing. And they were talking about, calming your nervous system, healing from traumas in the past. And because we all know traumas in the past are helping to cause the chaos that we're experiencing today. And the things that you're seeing out there that you're not liking. Ask yourself, what is it within myself that's really making that, whatever it is, bother me? Because there's something within yourself that it's reflecting back at you that needs healing. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in your direct, like I'm talking about like your daily life, like something in your daily life that's really irritating you. And both of these speakers said that when you start this process, it's like you go back into this little child within you and you're telling this little child, after neglecting you for however many years, I want to help you and we are going to heal this. And I loved the one example that the speaker gave, and they were like, you've abandoned someone in a dark room by themselves for years and you haven't given them any attention after they've screamed and cried and begged and whatever, and all of a sudden you knock on the door and you say, hey, I want to help you. What can I do to help you so we can live a better life? They're not going to be very interested. They're not going to take you seriously. And even if they were to take you seriously, why should they believe that you're fully committed to them? Why should they trust you? Healing is a process. There is a portion inside of you that has felt neglected, that doesn't always feel safe, doesn't always feel secure. I can guarantee that in every single one of you listening, there is a person inside of you who has unmet needs that wishes they had been met when they were younger. But you can take the power within you to heal that now. But it's not going to be instantaneous. It's not going to be like, okay, day one, let's go do this. No, you're going to have to work and build that relationship with yourself again. You're going to have to love yourself and show up for yourself again and again and again. It's not any different than any other relationship you have in your life, where the moment you meet someone, you don't just trust them with your life savings. You have to build that relationship in order for you to make these transitions smoothly, in order for you to make them to the highest possible timeline. You need to develop this relationship with this inner self that needs nourishment. You have to develop this relationship with your body, mind, and soul that feeds it, fills up good stuff, not the negative stuff. And that's like the self-criticism. That's doing the same thing over and over again, even though it doesn't make you feel good, but it's been so ingrained in you that you don't know what else to do. Yeah, it might be comfortable if you're used to staying home and not working out at all. Going to that gym might be terrifying. That's okay. Like we said, be honest with yourself about where you are. Honor what your body needs and honor where your system is and what you can and cannot take on right now. Maybe going to the gym on the first of the year is really difficult for you, but what can you do at home to start implementing more regular physical activity? In fact, I would encourage you not to all of a sudden go to the gym and do a 3-mile run when you haven't been on the treadmill in 7 years, Be reasonable with your goals. Be reasonable with your expectations. And through everything that you go through, love yourself, care for yourself enough to make this change for yourself. Whatever it is, whatever transition it is, there's a reason that it's in your experience. And my guess is whether it's something you've always wanted for your entire life or whether it's just a life change that came about on its own and you feel you have no say in, it's here. So how are you going to show up for yourself through it? I asked Spirit if they had any messages they wanted to share with you regarding this topic of transitions and self-care, and they have given me 3 cards for you. 2 of them are from the Denise Lynn, the Sacred Forest Oracle. I'll read those first, and then the other is the Angel Card deck, and I think I'm going to end with that one. So they're all messages about your transitions. The first 2 are attributes that they want you to take into consideration and to embrace as you're going through, honestly, as you're going through life in general, but especially as you're going through transitions. And the last one's just going to sum up the whole message. And it's going to give you a number that if you see it out and about in your everyday life, it's a validation that, hey, remember that message you just listened to? This applies to you. How can you show up for yourself? How can you love yourself? How are you going to make this transition in your life? Are you going to survive it? Are you going to thrive through it? How are you going to expand? Okay, the first card Spirit gave to you guys today is the Blue Bird Spirit, and it is about happiness. This card is a harbinger of delight. Celebrate and have fun. Embrace life, yourself, and others. Say yes today. Soar to the clouds and let the doubts dissolve. All is well. It's simple. Your purpose in life is to experience happiness. That's all that's required of you as a soul. You do not need to be unhappy to please another. Whatever your circumstances, there's always something that can bring you delight, and what you put your attention on will grow. When you focus on the areas of your life that bring you happiness, these areas will prosper. One of the fastest paths to true pleasure is through sharing and giving. So give of your heart and share your love. Happiness spreads to others like wildfire and can help heal the world. Dance and sing with abandon. Joy is your spiritual birthright. The spirit of the bluebird says, all is well. Say yes to life and let your doubts dissolve. Don't wait until the future. Live life fully now. You do not need to struggle or suffer to grow. You can grow leaps and bounds amid joy. Second card Spirit had me draw for you was the Willow Spirit, and it's about flexibility. This card encourages you to be flexible in your life. Be willing to bend and even to yield. There is power in doing this as a choice rather than as a forfeit of your will. Even though there are times to stand strong, sometimes the greater valor is to go around a situation rather than face it head on. By being adaptable, you can succeed, whereas someone who is more rigid may not. In rough winds, a strong oak tree may break, while the willow can bend without snapping. Adjust to life rather than fight it. Surrender to the process. As the willow can weather storms, so you too can weather life's challenges. There are many legends regarding the willow tree. It often has associations with gods and goddesses such as Hecate, Artemis, and Mercury. In ancient Athens, it was a practice of the priests of, I cannot say that word, Explicius, I don't know what that word is, I tried, to place willow branches in their temples, in the belief that it would draw mystical healing. The willow was also sacred to poets, for the sound of the wind through the willow was thought to influence poetic expression. In Celtic traditions, the willow has always been known as a tree of dreaming, inspiration, and enchantment. The spirit of the willow says, be flexible in your life. Be willing to bend rather than break. Be amenable to change, and you will flourish in wondrous ways. The angel number that Spirit chose for you guys today is 6666, and it is about great blessings. Some of the other categories that go with it are self-love, boundaries, needs, good vibes, wisdom, understanding, and letting go. Nurture yourself, your needs, desires, and boundaries. Let go of things that are weighing you down. Make space for something meaningful and expand your spirit to all areas of your life. That big love, opportunity, or job needs to squeeze in somewhere. How perfect was that? I had this whole generic, this is what my podcast is going to be about. Spirit, do you have any things that you want to add? And then if you read their 6666 message is just perfect. It's like the cherry on top. Encompasses everything that was discussed in this episode. And I just love how Spirit ties everything up with a bow like that. I'm going to do something a little different this time. I'm going to ask Spirit right here and right now if there's any other messages that they want to add before we close the session. They love you all so much, and they want you to know that they are with you. And they are all so excited to see you step into this next transition in your life. And though it may not always be easy, it will be worth it. Life is for growing and blossoming. And sometimes in order to blossom, one must be willing to remove themselves from situations that no longer allow them to grow, allow them to bloom. Whether it be because the pot is too small and you need a bigger pot to expand, or maybe the soil conditions aren't right for you where you are. Maybe it's simply a stagnancy. Yeah, it feels like some of you are just in a stagnancy. Like you're just in the same old rut. You just need a clean break. You need a new energy in your life. So this transition could be something like that for you, whether it be a relationship, a career, a home, like a physical location, or maybe you need to move states, countries, whatever it is. There's just a need for something new. But after saying that, they also say, do not get caught up in the external. The most important thing is always, what is it that you need inside? And how can you give yourself that? How can you meet your own needs? You have everything you need. You are ready for this. Embrace that new opportunity. It's going to feel really exciting at first. It's going to light you up like you're a Christmas tree that just got plugged in. Okay. The very first time you hear it, you see it, you experience it, that's what's going to happen. And then the self-doubt's going to creep in after like 5 seconds. And you're going to start trying to talk yourself out of it, or you're going to tell yourself, this isn't right for me. This isn't going to work. And this is why. It's catching that thought process. It's watching that story without getting entangled in it and remembering how you felt when it first came about. Ask for them to help you because they need you to ask. They can only do so much without your free will asking them. And even when you do ask, know that your free will trumps whatever. So ultimately, and as always, it is your decision. They say that's enough for now. So I hope that our messages here for you today help you feel very powerful in your own life, help you feel loved. I truly think that feeling loved and giving yourself the love and care that you need is paramount to any time period, but especially doing transitions. And I just want you guys to know that I love you so much and I'm so grateful for you tuning in. And I can't wait to speak with you next time. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I wish you the most love, light, and inspiration. With all of my love, Katie.